Greg says, is it a good idea to build links to our images and other WordPress attachments like PDF? If so, what types of backlinks? I don't recommend it because we don't recommend building links to directly to your money site stuff, period, other than through your own branded assets, and very strategically at that, which is why we always talk about using syndication networks and the SEO shield, that kind of stuff, because they're all branded assets and it makes sense to kind of link back to your own content from your own branded assets. That's why we called it the SEO shield for all these years, is because it shields your site from external link building. You can do all your external link building to the SEO shield assets, right? So your tier 1 branded assets. So I don't recommend building links directly to your WordPress files and attachments unless they're through your own branded assets, right? Does that make sense? So in other words, if you wanted to like link to images, like in a WordPress post or a Blogger post or a Tumblr post, and then, either hot link the image, in other words, like embed the image so that it's pushing credit back to your WordPress site where the image is hosted, or literally link to it, and the attachment files and things like that. That would be okay in my opinion. But I mean, again, if you know what you're doing and you have a good source of links that aren't spammy and that sort of stuff, yes, you could build links to images, PDF files and things like that, but I don't recommend it because, you could end up causing harm. But you can do stuff like that, like I said, throughout your own branded assets, right? So for example, here's an example, okay? When I publish a press release, which I do a ton of press release stuff, there's in Press Advantage, which is who I'm mainly using, although I'm testing Signal Genesis right now, there's a lot of really, really, really cool features in that as well. Lane and Matt have done a really, really good job with that, guys. I'll be bringing that to our audience in the coming weeks for sure. Anyway, with Press Advantage, when I'm ordering a press release or submitting a press release order, there's a field to upload an image or attach an image, and you can either upload an image or you can put a URL in and it will embed the image, but the image will be hosted on the URL. And I used to upload images, and then I started testing with using Google My Business post images, so GMB post images, and taking the URL from the post image and then embedding that in the press release instead of uploading an image, right? And then you can still add alt text. And I started seeing a boost from that. So then I said, well, shit, I'll start doing that with WordPress too, right? So for my self-hosted WordPress sites, the same thing. If I'm going to be, sometimes I'll take an image from a GMB post, so the image URL from a GMB post, and that will be the embedded image in the press release. Other times I'll take a WordPress hosted image and embed that in the press release. The point that I'm trying to make here is that, yeah, that's not a direct link. It's just it's an embedded, image. So it's like an iframe almost, but it's an image, right? So, and those tend to work well too, because it pushes kind of power back to where the source, where it's hosted, the image is hosted, either WordPress or Google My Business or whatever, without it even being a direct link, right? Does that make sense? So, yeah, I think there's definitely value to that. Just be careful with how you do it, is what I'm saying. Okay. RB, these were some good questions. I don't know if you answered them or not. Because I asked you a question about this, but I'll read through these guys. He says, Bradley, are you affiliated with the seemingly fairly new app called Staxio?